The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the August Champions Edge Call. My name is Dan Foster. I'm a coach here at Building Champions, and I want to thank you guys for just taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here today. I know that you guys are just swamped with requests from family members, your teams, your clients, and just your corporations as a whole. And so I really appreciate you carving 30 minutes out of your day to be with us. You know, we're doing things just a little different this month with a webinar versus a conference call. And so we'd love your feedback to be able to tell us just how you enjoyed this type of format, this sort of medium that we're using, and the way to engage with us. And so you're going to get a survey at the end of the call, and we'd love to get your feedback on that. So let's jump in. You know, today we're going to be talking about how to improve your productivity. And there's going to be two tools that I'm going to be using today. And hopefully you got these when you registered for the webinar. If you didn't, though, and you need to get a copy of these tools, then I want you to email mail@buildingchampions.com. We've got someone waiting at that email address to be able to send you off the tools if you need them. So we're going to be going through a time tracking tool today, as well as a time blocking tool today. All right. Well, like I said, we're going to be talking about helping you improve your productivity. And that is really our target today. That's the goal that we have. That's our objective, how to help you improve your productivity. And how I want to do that is I want to walk you through a 5-step process that I think is going to help you create a better system to manage your overall time and your priorities so that you can improve your productivity and just overall get more things done. It's going to allow you to focus on those most important priorities in your life, those most important areas of your life, and those relationships that you have. But, you know, before we jump into a process, I think we've got to talk about the problem that's occurring. You know, and the problem that's occurring is that we're hearing this from a lot of our clients. Productivity is going down, both in your personal life as well as in your professional life. And now I'm not saying that you guys aren't busy. We all know that, man, we are busier than we've ever been. And in fact, we're hearing from you guys that you're swamped, you feel like you're running ragged, and you're just trying to fit it all in. You know, productivity can go down, though, even when sales are up and revenue is up and the amount of client interaction is up. You still can have your productivity go down in those key important areas. And that's what I think is what's really causing the problem, is that I think many of you on the call today know this, that you're experiencing a tremendous number of opportunities that weren't there, you know, 6 months to a year ago. You're seeing market activity skyrocket. Demand from your clients is up. And just even corporate expectations on you are higher than they've ever been before, or at least than they've ever been in a very long time. And what's happening is that this is leading to a decrease in productivity in some of the most important areas of our business and our life. Our relationships, they're just not getting the attention that they have in the past. So that means we're missing date nights, or family dinners are being missed. Practices and games aren't making it onto the schedule like they normally would have. You know, those key areas of our life, like our health, working out, going to church, serving in our community, all of those things are unfortunately taking a back seat to work. We're finding ourselves going into the office on Sundays and Saturdays, spending late nights at the office. It's not good. You know, what happens when we see a decrease in productivity, we see a danger in providing a lower quality service to our clients as well. Resources are more difficult to manage because of the fast-paced environment that we're in. We're moving so fast that we don't know if the money that we're spending on certain things is yielding the return like it used to. We don't know where to shift people and have these team members help, and so our resources, they're under a lot of pressure. We're not reviewing them. We're not having enough time to make sure that they're being as productive as they should be. And finally, there's our vision. And when you start to get a shift in a market like this, your vision can be one of the first things that starts to have issues because it's not being reviewed regularly. And we're not sure if we're headed down the right path from where we want to go. We're off course, perhaps. And so, when we're talking to our clients in the coach's chair, what we're hearing from them is that, on some days it feels like controlled chaos, but on others it just feels more like chaos. Things are just pulling in all different directions, coming at us to where we're struggling to fit it all in. And you see, guys, when a shift like this occurs, if you don't address it right away, it has the potential to have some very serious long-term negative consequences in all the areas of your life and in your business. So the question really isn't, are these different areas on the screen, are they going to be impacted? No, the question is, am I prepared? Do I have a system in place to meet the demands of my personal life, to meet the demands of my clients and my company and my industry, so that I can stay productive and I can be intentional and I can be purposeful in every area that I want to be? The late, great Stephen Covey talked a lot about personal impact of living in what he called the tyranny of the urgent. And he gave us these 4 quadrants for us to kind of think about and review in our life and our work all the time. And he talked about how, if you spend a lot of time in quadrant 1, then you end up spending a lot of your time putting out fires, dealing with the crisis du jour, dealing with projects that have these deadlines, and they're important things that you're doing, and they're urgent, but man, if you spend a lot of time there, you end up feeling pretty stressed, pretty burned out. Maybe you look like this lady. Maybe you look like this before you got on the call today. Hopefully you're not going to look like it afterwards, but you feel stressed, you feel burned out. And when that happens, you tend to make a shift to quadrant number 3. And in quadrant number 3, you're dealing with things that are not as important, but they're still urgent. You get those got-a-minute questions from your team members. You get those random emails and projects that you got to be working on long-term. And you maybe have some meetings and some calls that are in there as well. But if you focus a lot of your time and spend a lot of your time in this quadrant, you start to get a little out of control. You get that short fuse where you're working on things that are not important, but they're constantly urgent, and you start getting a little angry. So what do? You shift over to quadrant 4, according to Covey. And Covey says, in this quadrant, this is where the wheels start to come off, okay? This is where you're working on things that are not urgent and they're not even important anymore. And if you start spending the majority of your time here, words with friends, Facebook, Twitter, some phone calls, more water cooler talk, maybe you find those fun activities in your job, and if you spend all your time there and you're not focusing on the things that are important and urgent and not important, important, not urgent, then you might end up getting fired from your job, and I don't want that to happen. And so where Covey says we really need to be spending our time is in the non-urgent and important quadrant. Quadrant 2 is the most important quadrant for us. And in this quadrant is where we do training, we do coaching, we get relationship building, planning, and strategizing on where we want to see our business go. And we have recreation, working out, those life plan type of activities. Now, when we do that, then we find ourselves much more balanced, much more disciplined. And guys, really, you need to hear me out on this. There are going to be times where you've got to be in each of these quadrants. You've got to have a portion of your day in quadrant 1, 3, 4, right? But the question is, where are you going to be spending the majority of your time? Where are you going to choose to spend the majority of your time to plant your stake in the ground and set up shop? And what basically we're saying, and what Covey says, is that it's got to be in quadrant 2, where you can be more balanced and more disciplined. And at Building Champions, we feel like it all comes down to managing your decisions. Are you being strategic in who you choose to work with? Are you being strategic in what you choose to work on? The places you decide to go. Are you being reactionary or strategic? strategic in your decisions? That's the big question. And if you were to ask the team of coaches here who have spent thousands of hours in the coach's chair, they're going to tell you that in order to improve your productivity and move away from being so reactionary and just ruled by this tyranny of the urgent, that you have to learn to manage your decisions. And in order for you to make wise decisions on where you spend your time, you have to know your priorities. And so today, I want to walk you through a process, a 5-step solution to the problem of decreased productivity and just overall chaos that we're all experiencing. So step 1, just like what I said, you got to define your priorities. That's what step 1 is all about. It's for you to define your priorities in life and business. And by priorities, I mean the key relationships, the long-term strategies, and these goals that you want to achieve over the course of a year. And the goals and the priorities that you want to spend your time, your money, your resources on building and achieving in your life. Now, for those of you, again, that are a Building Champions alum, you've coached with us, you know that we believe the best way for you to be able to define your priorities is by completing a life plan, a business vision, and a business plan. The life plan is where you identify those key relationships in those specific areas of your life that you want to make a priority, okay? Your business vision helps you identify your purpose and long-term strategy. It's where you want to see your business go in 5, 10, 15, 20 years out. And it's your strategy for getting out there and growing your business. Your business plan then comes along and says, okay, now that we know what's important in our personal life, now that we know where we want to see our business go in the next 10 to 20 years, let's get tactical. Let's create a tactical roadmap for implementing a long-term strategy from our vision. And so the business plan helps you define those disciplines and helps you focus, again, your time and your resources on making sure that you're making good decisions, you're behaving in the right way to reach your goals. You want your decisions to be helping you to be supporting your priorities. You want your decisions to focus on your priorities. Step 2, once you have clarity around your top priorities in life and in business, you can then start to identify your high payoff activities. Now, there are a lot of definitions of high payoff activities, so let me just tell you what I've learned over the years and explain to you how I define high payoff activities. These are the 5 to 7 activities that are the most important for you to do each week. They bring you, 1, the greatest value to those that you love and serve. They help you build and deepen relationships, and they can only be done by you. That's the most important one there. They can only be done by you. Now, most likely, you'll have 5 to 7 high payoff activities in your personal life and 5 to 7 high payoff activities in your professional career and what you're working on with your business. So really, step 2 is for you to identify what are those high payoff activities in your day. So I want you to ask yourself, if you could focus your time on providing the greatest value to those that you love and serve, if you could work on deepening and building relationships, and you could deliver those products and those services and care for people in a way that only you can do, what would the activities be that allow you to do that? How would you behave? What are those activities? Well, to help you, let's look at a couple of different examples here. Let's say you're an executive that's on the call today. For an executive, leadership team meetings are going to be some high payoff activities for you. In those meetings, you're going to be sharing your vision. You're going to be talking about results. You're going to be talking about the behaviors of your executives, your vice presidents, your regional VPs and area managers. You're going to be meeting possibly with some key clients to ensure that that relationship is strong. If you're a manager on the call today, then your high payoff activities might revolve around coaching your team, training your team, and recruiting new talent to your team. Those 3 areas right there, just alone for a manager, are very, very important. If you're a sales professional on the call today, prospecting has got to be huge for you. Even if you're not a sales professional, if you're a small business owner, going out there and getting new clients, prospecting for new clients, finding new people to build relationship with, huge and important high payoff activity. Meeting with those existing referral partners and serving your clients in a way that only you can do. Okay, so those are some examples for you to think about. Now, step 3. Once you've identified your high payoff activities, it's time to find out, how are you actually spending your day? You know, step 3 is for you to track and evaluate your time. And guys, this is a brutal exercise, but it's one of the most eye-opening and valuable exercises that you'll ever do in your business. So here it is. Get ready. Over the course of 2 to 3 days, I want you to track what you do every 15 to 30 minutes. Now, I may have lost some of you right there, and you may decide to just hang up the call, but I'm serious. Whatever it takes for you to get this done, do it. If you need to have a timer on your phone, do it. If you need to have an assistant that interrupts you and says, hey, write down what you did, do it. Whatever it takes, get it done, bite the bullet, track your time, 15 to 30-minute increments over the next 2 to 3 days. And guys, here is why this is so important. You see, when we ask our clients to go through this exercise, they're blown away. They are so amazed at what they discover because, like most of us, we think that we are spending our time day in and day out focused on high payoff activities. But when you track your time, all of a sudden, you start to realize that you've been falling into this trap and believing this lie of the tyranny of the urgent that says, hey, this is important work. It's urgent work. It has to be done. In fact, I'm the only one that can do this. So guys, once you have your list of activities that you've been working on, you've tracked your time over 2 to 3 days, you've got your list of what you've been doing, take out a highlighter, and I want you to highlight all of the activities that are actually high payoff activities. The other activities that you don't highlight, we're going to group those together, and we're going to call them low payoff activities, okay? And let's talk about what we're going to do with those low payoff activities. We'll come back to the high payoff ones in just a minute. The low payoff activities, these are those activities that you may find yourself kind of stuck spending a lot of time doing. And they're important, but they just don't yield the high payoff results that those other activities do. And so what I want you to do is I want you to take these low payoff activities, and I want you to decide which of these can I put in to the bucket that I'm going to delegate to someone else. Okay? It doesn't have to be done by me. I can delegate this to my assistant or to my virtual assistant or someone else on the team so that I can have more time to focus on my high payoff activities. Which of these activities do I just simply need to stop? They're not helping anyone. I've gotten away. I'm in quadrant 4 now of that Stephen Covey thing where a lot of Facebook, Words with Friends, Twitter, I got to stop this. All right, we're going to put those in that bucket, and we're going to be done with them. And then I want to have you group together what's left over. These are those low payoff activities that you've decided they can't be delegated, they can't be stopped, which means I've got to do them, which means I've got to have some time to do them as well. Okay? And so we're going to get to that. Now, guys, here's the thing to remember about low payoff activities. They still bring value to those people that you love and that you serve. They just don't bring the greatest value. You know, instead of helping you build your business and deepen those relationships, they're more focused maybe on systems running smoothly and operational excellence. And like I said, they can be delegated without sacrificing quality and experience. All right, let's take a quick review here, okay? What we've learned so far is that in order for us to increase our productivity and improve our productivity, we have to first define our priorities. We have to know what are the most important areas of our life, our vision, our business plan, what should be a priority in our life. We've identified our high payoff activities. These are the activities that are going to allow us to pour into those priorities. They're going to allow us to have the greatest return for our business, help it grow. And now we've tracked our time, and we've evaluated our time to see what exactly are we actually spending our time doing. Okay, so now we're at step 4. And this is where we're going to camp for a little bit here. Step 4 is all about building a model week, okay? And we're going to look at all of those priorities, all those high payoff activities, and we're going to get them into a time block that will allow us to be more purposeful and intentional in everything that we do. So instead of having you think of every little, 8 o'clock to 8:30, I'm going to do this. 8:30 to 8:45, this. 8:45 to 10:45, this. I want to introduce you to the idea of time blocking using the 4 kinds of time. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there's 4 kinds of time. The first one is growth time. And growth time is all about growing your business, and it's the revenue-generating activities. It's the relationship-building activities that are going to help you increase the size of your company, help you increase your business, your client base. It's going to help you grow your influence in your business. The second type of time is InTime. These are those administrative activities where voicemails, email returns, it's the front lines, it's you working on operations. This is where we're going to see, remember how we grouped some of those low payoff activities? Well, we're going to see them possibly in time. The third one is on time. This is where you do strategic planning. This is where you do improvement projects. This is where you go to that 30,000-foot level, you look down on your business, and you say, how can we improve? What can we change? How can I improve as a leader? And you focus on activities that are going to help you do that. And then finally, there's off time. This is for our life plan. This is for our personal relationships. These are for those key areas of your life that you need to focus on so that you're staying healthy. Okay, so now that you have those 4 types of time identified and defined, you're going to take all of those activities and you're going to group them. And you're going to say, okay, out of these activities, this group, these are growth activities. These are going to help me grow my business. Okay, this group here, definitely administration. This group is on time, and this group is off time. Okay, and you're going to do that with those high payoff activities and those low payoff activities as well. And you're going to put them into one of these 4 buckets. Once you then have these in your 4 buckets, you're now going to create a time block for using these 4 types of time. And as you can see from the example here on the screen, we've got a healthy amount of all 4 types of time. Now, depending on your industry and maybe where you're at in your business, you may need to dedicate more of one type of time to your schedule. For example, if your business is in need of like revenue and sales, then focusing a larger block of time on growth time and filling that time block with those high payoff activities that are going to help you grow your business is going to be the best use of that time. So you'll see that we've got, starting the day, off time, working out, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, Thursday, you've got your day started with on time where you're reading industry articles, you're improving your overall knowledge of how to do your business the right way. You're maybe doing some prepared time. You've got, maybe you're driving to the office, then when you get in, you've got in time, emails, voicemails, phone calls. You'll notice that we also have, guys, some free time scheduled here. And that's where I want you to be thinking about working on some of those low payoff activities. They're either going to be in your in time if you've got the availability there, but most likely they'll be during your free time because you want to have what we call margin in your schedule. You want to have what my good friend Barry Engelman calls the ministry of availability, where you're available for those got-a-minute phone calls, those got-a-minute questions that are coming in from clients and from your teammates. Let them know when you're free. Now, you'll also see that you've got good chunks of growth time, right? And then you're ending your day focusing on planning, on time. How did this day go? What do I need to change? What do I need to start doing? What should I stop doing? Let's plan for tomorrow. I've got my to-do list. I've got the people I'm going to contact. End your day with that so that when your boots hit the ground the next morning, you know exactly what your mission is and exactly how your day is going to play out. And because you've got your time block, okay? You're spending a good amount of time on growth, good amount of time on in activities, some on activities, or some on time, and then you've got your off time. You're getting all 4 of those into each day. Okay, final step here, guys. Once you've got your schedule done, your sample time block, your model week that you'd like to have, you got to let everybody know about it. You got to post this on your office door. You got to share this in your email signatures. You want to leave a voicemail maybe that says, you know, I'm in a meeting right now, but I'm returning calls today from 11 to noon and from 4 to 5. If this is an emergency, leave a message. I'll get back to you, but otherwise you can expect my call in between one of those times. Share it. If you've got a shared drive on your office network, then share your calendar with your team. Use Google Calendar, whatever you need to do. Also, learn to say no. And not just simply, no, I can't do that. No, I can't meet with you at that time. That's not what this is about, guys. This is about saying no, but here's why, and here's what I can do. It's providing a solution-based no response is what I call it. So where you say no, but you know what, I can't meet you at this time, but I do have time between 3 and 4 today or between 8 and 9 tomorrow. Which of those 2 times works better for you? You see how I said that? That's different than just saying, no, I can't do it. How about between 8 tomorrow or at 3 o'clock today? Does that work for you? Well, that's a yes or no response, and they may say no and push you harder to continue to meet with you. But if you phrase it where you say, I have between 8 and 9 tomorrow or between 3 and 4 today, which of those 2 times works best for you? Then they're going to probably choose the earliest time and fit in within what you're saying. But you've got to publish your schedule so that people know exactly what they can expect from you now that you have this model time block. Those are our 5 steps, guys. If you're going to continue to do this sort of time blocking, if you're going to use the 4 types of time, if you're going to make this a discipline in your life, then you've got to remember to be rare, okay? And what I mean by that is that you need to reflect every day. At the end of your day, reflect on how you did. At the end of your week, reflect on your week. How did you do? You need to make adjustments where are needed. Okay, this work, man, I had a little too much growth time this week. I didn't get to all these files or get to these reports that I had to do. I'm going to shift and shrink down growth and increase InTime just a little bit. Okay, adjust your schedule. Be flexible. That's the beauty of having 4 kinds of time and then knowing the high payoff activities that you're going to fill into those 4 types of time, okay? The third area is to recommit. When you're reflecting, you make your adjustments, you recommit to your schedule, and you let people know, I am committed to this. I am going to make this happen. And you get out there finally and you execute. You just get back up on your horse. If you fall off, you get right back up. You know, and maybe your goal should be to try and win, you know, starting off maybe 3 out of the 5 work days. Try and win the week by doing 3 out of 5 days on schedule. You know, maybe you can win the month by getting, you know, 2 out of the 4 weeks of the month on schedule. Maybe win the year by having 9 or 10 months out of the year where you're actually living out your schedule. It can just grow exponentially as you start to be rare and you reflect, you adjust, you recommit, and you execute. So let's review those 5 steps here, guys. The first one we had was to define our priorities. You got to know what's most important to you, where your business is going, the family members, the relationships, those key areas of your life. When you know what's important to you, you can then start to identify high payoff activities that are going to support those priorities and help you focus on them. The third step is to figure out exactly what's going on. You got to track your time. How well am I doing actually focusing on those priorities and executing on my high payoff activities? What am I spending my time doing? So you're going to track and you're going to evaluate your time. The fourth step is to create your model week. When you've tracked your time, You then can say, all right, I'm going to get rid of these activities. I'm going to delegate these. I'm going to group these together. And we've got my high payoff and some low payoff that I just have to do. And I'm going to create my model week. This is what I want my week to look like. And then you're going to publish that schedule. And you're going to let the world know that this is how you are going to work to improve your productivity, to provide the best service that you possibly can, and to be living with intention and purpose. Guys, thank you so much for being on the call today. I hope that you find these 5 steps helpful to increase your productivity. You know, one of the 4 kinds of time was on time. And one of the best things that you could possibly do in on time is find a place to get away, to reflect on your vision, to reflect on where your business is going, to help you identify your life plan and your business vision. And one of the best ways that you can do that this year would be to attend our Building Champions experience on September 18th through the 21st in Sun River, Oregon. If you're not familiar with this event, I want to send you to bce2012.com, where you can learn about the breakout sessions, learn about the different speakers that we're having, learn about everything that we do here that makes this so unique compared to any other seminar or workshop or anything that you've attended. This is very unique. You walk away with plans completed, with action plans already done. We give you time to work on things there. It's a great experience. Guys, again, I want to wish you the best. Have a wonderful September, and God bless. Take care.